Very good evening. Welcome to the second edition of News Tonight. It's me, Michael Jordan Lukomwa, with Elizabeth Nakakoni, and this is what we have for you this time round. Police have denied information regarding the disappearance of the Parliamentary Lead Investigations Officer, ASP Charles Twine, who went missing last week. While addressing the weekly security briefing, the police spokesperson, Rusoke Kituma, highlighted on other people who have disappeared. We have details to the story.
It is close to a week since the disappearance of the senior police detective, ASP Charles Twine, who leads the Parliamentary Police Investigations team. The family reached out to police, but no promising response was given. The police spokesperson, Rusoke Kituma, has denied information leading to the senior officer.
Like I've maintained my standard here, I only comment on information where on issues where I have information. When I do not have information, I keep quiet until when I get it.
The unverified circulating information shows that Charles Twine was summoned by the Inspector General of Police for special inquiries on Wednesday, the 14th of May. Since then, his whereabouts are unknown. Police commit to investigate circumstances under his disappearance.
When I get information about Twine, I will come here and share it. Now that I don't have it, allow me not to make any comment.
ASP Charles Twine was last seen on duty in Bara District on the 13th of May 2025 while escorting members of Parliament doing oversight. Twine's field work was cut short by the Inspector General of Police's summon. Meanwhile, police are investigating the alleged abduction of the senior advocate, Abedi Nassa Mudiobole, who went missing last week. Police say there is no clue concerning Mudiobole's whereabouts.
When you are abducted, you go and report to police. But what I know, if it is an arrest, you need to be specific on who and where. When we arrest, we produce. If it is this, because there is also this Chuambabant, the bastardization of the terminology for political reasons. That one I will make no comment.
Meanwhile, security agencies have cautioned the public against the misuse of the term abduction, saying some cases are lawful arrests, while others may be exaggerated.
The opposition in Parliament has downplayed the handling of the Uganda People's Defence Forces Amendment Bill of 2025. The UPDF Amendment Bill has been aligned for second reading as Parliament returns tomorrow. The leader of the opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, says that some stakeholders, including the National Unity Platform, were not given room to present their side. Senyonyi has rallied opposition members, however, to attend the sitting and ensure the bill collapses.
And circumstances have seemingly left no option to the opposers of the controversial Uganda People's Defence Forces Amendment Bill 2025. The bill against the clock has been aligned for the second reading a week after it was introduced in Parliament.
Because over the weekend, the committee has been meeting to write a report. That means consultations from different stakeholders ended. This is unacceptable.
But the government chief whip, Hamson Obua, says all stakeholders have been consulted.
They were granted an opportunity to appear before the committee. If they did not appear, that one you cannot blame it on the committee or Parliament. What you can blame on Parliament is that if Parliament had not granted the opportunity for stakeholders to appear as guided under the rules of procedure, you would fault. But in this case, an opportunity was granted.
The government bill introduces exceptional circumstances under which civilians can be tried by the court-martial. This includes, among others, being found in possession of military stores and aiding a military officer in committing crimes. The bill, if considered, will witness the return of the court-martial despite the recent Supreme Court ruling which disqualified its jurisdictions.
When the Supreme Court made a decision, there are also consequential orders or guidance that it made within that decision. So the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda is only fulfilling its constitutional obligation of making laws.
Just like any other company, even private ones, they've got disciplinary mechanisms, disciplinary committees and so on for internal issues. But for any criminal matter, all those have got to be handled by the civilian courts. The law says the High Court of Uganda has got unlimited jurisdiction.
These and many concerns are what the opposition wing in Parliament stands to object the proposed new legislation. Senyonyi has rallied the members in the opposition to highly attend the Tuesday sitting to ensure that the bill collapses.
It's important that we use the platform that we do have, the legally provided for platform that we do have, to push back. Is it going to be easy? Certainly not. But it's a platform that we must be able to use, that we get to be on record. If we choose to go to court, for example, assuming we choose to go to court, because there's several grounds anyway that we can rely on, we shall need a basis, having been present, having had our say on record, and then you use that to challenge, whether it be in court or whatever else.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabingi, UBC News.
Beautification of the Catholic Shrine of the Uganda Matters in Namugongo are underway in preparations for the 3rd of June, Matters Day 25. Although some pilgrims have started arriving, the shrine administrator, Francis Mwange, says that the shrine will be open to pilgrims starting on Saturday, the 24th of May.
Preparations for this year's pilgrimage to the Catholic Shrine of the Ugandan Matters in Namugongo are in full swing. Activities for the beautification of the shrine, including painting, mowing the grass and building of arches, are underway. The Uganda Matters Catholic Shrine Administrator Francis Mwange told UBC the tentative program.
As we talk now, we are final touching a few things that need to be improved. You can see the animating diocese is working on the arches. We are painting where we need to, and in a few days the new bathrooms, you know, all along we've been using polythene, but this time we have, together with the animating diocese, we have put permanent bathrooms constructed. So in a few days they will be ready. We are putting barricades in the compound to keep the walkways clear. So we want, by the time pilgrims come in, all these things that need a few touches to be done.
Some of the pilgrims at the Catholic Shrine who are praying near the statue of Charles Lwanga shared with us that they came early to avoid bigger crowds and congestion on the D-Day of 3rd June.
I had come here to have for 1 o'clock mass, and about the Uganda Matters, I just love their love for Christ and the church as a whole. Yeah, that's what I can say about the Uganda Matters.
Anzizenga bukyali ebifo ebisinga byonna tubirambudde bakululirwa ennyini olw'essatu tofuna biseera birambula oba biramaga kale oba mu buli mpuku ya mujulizi leero tufunye chance ennungi.
Nze ndajja ntandika kusomesa abaana bange taata waaba tuvuddeko nenja kuramaga neŋŋamba Mukama ngenda kuramaga bajulizi ba Uganda munsabire.
Some pilgrims carried jerrycans and bottles containing what they termed holy water drawn from the Matters Lake.
Amazzi gano ngajje mu kayanja era olulala nali ndwadde omukono guno nga guzimbye wano wakati gwazimba bwe guti naye bwe natwala amazzi gano n'okukkiriza kwe nali nina nasobola kyasobola okuvaawo obuzimbu bwasobola okuvaawo.
The administrator of the Uganda Matters Catholic Shrine, Francis Mwange, says although many pilgrims are expected earlier than June 3rd, the shrine will be officially opened to pilgrims on Sunday, May 25th. Mwange says the program will commence with a novena on May 24th, 2025.
pilgrims should start coming in on Saturday 24th, because we begin the celebrations with the novena. The novena begins on 25th. So those who are coming to join in the novena should come either on 24th, Saturday, or during the day on the 25th, because the novena mass, the first one will begin at 5 on Sunday, that is 25th. So those who are coming in to attend the novena can come in on Saturday or Sunday. We shall officially open on Saturday 24th.
Thank you so much. I'm Waeva Njuko and Mike Bakabulindi for UBC.
Just like at the Catholic Matters Shrine, it's the same story at the Anglican Matters site, where preparations for 3rd June are also underway, and they have received the first pilgrim for this year's celebrations.
In committee at the Namgongo Anglican site, security personnel led by the UPDF were monitoring security at the site. This year's Matters Day celebration by the Church of Uganda is on the theme, imitating God's goodness by doing good. The vice chairperson of the venue committee, Reverend James Luum, says all preparations are being made to ensure everything is in place.
So happy to report to you that here at Anglican site, the work is in progress. Things are very okay. We'd like to welcome everybody for the celebration this year in Namugongo Matters site.
So far, a group of pilgrims from the Greater North Cluster Dioceses, the organizers of this year's Matters Day, is expected to arrive in Kampala on 29th of May 2025.
We expect them to arrive in Kampala on 29th, whereby I want to invite you to come and join them around Matuga. That's when we'll have our long procession, of course, guided by the beautiful Uganda Police Force, who will guide us together with the Mengo Hospital, with all the ambulances. We will bring them, we usher them in the city, and we'll divide them into 2 groups.
The choir of over 400 people drawn from different dioceses has been training from their respective locations and is expected to meet in Namgongo for final rehearsal.
Come and see the beauty of what God has given to the Greater North. Come and feel the rhythm of the Adungu. We are the only people who maintain the originality of worship that God has given us. Of course, you will see and you will enjoy the worship that will be done by our own choir on that day.
Meanwhile, from a Multari district in Lango Diocese, Julius Etenu, the first pilgrim to arrive at the Namgongo Anglican site, told UBC his experience about his journey.
I started my journey, then I walked from Amolata up to Dokolo. Dokolo Urban Archdeacon, Diocese of Lango. From then I sleep there in Dokolo. Then I go straight up to Okwania. There was a Diocese of West Lango. Then I sleep there for 2 days. From there, then I start my journey on Monday. Then I start my journey up to Okwania, up to Apache, to come up to Luero Diocese. From there, I left the Luero Diocese, I continue to come. Then I sleep in some churches here from this of Luero. Then I sleep there. From Kampala on weekend, then I start my journey from there, I reach here.
Andrew Sebira compiled this report for UBC News.
The National Consultative Forum is in support of the legalizing of the Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue, IPOD. The chairperson of the NCF, Godfrey Chiwanda Suvi, says that legalizing IPOD will enhance democracy, but asks that the proposed legislation should not limit IPOD to only political parties with representation in Parliament.
The National Consultative Forum for Political Parties and Political Organizations is a constitutional body that brings together all political parties in the country, institutionalized under Article 71, subsection 2. To date, the forum consists of 26 political parties, excluding the new registered People's Front for Freedom, PFF. The chairman, Godfrey Chiwanda Subi, says the consultative forum has engaged with the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong, on their budget of 15 billion shillings.
The preceding years, we have been given only 450 million shillings the whole financial year. To this end, the forum drew a budget. We sat down and we made a budget totaling to about 15 billion shillings to facilitate various administrative and election year program.
We have passed a budget, but that budget is not cast on stone. There is always an avenue of an improvement. We can be able to improve on the amount that you require depending on the activities.
In the incoming general elections, NCF seeks to enrich the peace pledge to sensitizing Ugandans on free and fair elections.
It's the forum's prayer that the Right Honourable Speaker, we bring you on board over this peace pledge, and we recruit you officially as an advocate of the peace in the country. All political parties signed on this document that we actually come up and support the issue of having peaceful election.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anta Antamong, commended the forum for enhancing unity within the political parties.
The inter-party cooperation is a cornerstone of evolution of the multi-party democracy in Uganda. The moment we all come together like this, we are able to agree on what our country should be.
This meeting is ahead of the second reading of the Political Parties and Organizations Amendment Bill 2025. On Tuesday, this bill seeks to legalize the Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue, IPOD.
There are some issues that I think we can iron out, but the spirit of this bill is actually empowering the National Consultative Forum. We are grateful for the bill.
When asked whether the bill does not pose a vote of no confidence to the NCF, whose roles are similar to IPOD, Chairperson Chiwanda had this to say.
But this bill is now telling them right that yes, you may be having your smaller caucuses here and there, but the top organ of political parties is the National Consultative Forum. These are the political parties also that are actually not in the parliament, but are registered with the National Electoral Commission, should also be listened to.
The National Unity Platform and the Forum for Democratic Change have since boycotted IPOD activities, but what will happen if the bill is passed into law?
By the way, you could even force them to enter the room, but you're not going to force them to speak, to have genuine negotiations. That cannot be forced. So those who think that these things can be done by law are misguided.
According to its procedure, the ruling political party chairs the NCF and the opposition leading party deputizes.
The bill should also cover the funding of such parties. Funding should not only be for political parties that are within parliament.
Rebecca Nantongo, Gloria Gutabinji, Parliament.
People's Front for Freedom Party is upheld by infights in the opposition parties to the extent of some downplaying the spirit of which PFF party was registered. They told the media briefing at the party offices in Katonga.
It was gazetted on May 16th, paving way for its participation in the forthcoming general elections. The party wants an expedited process of certificate acquisition from Uganda's Electoral Commission. During a media briefing, the party voiced discontent by a section of opposition politicians who say its registration was an extended favor to them.
There are people who have got very angry on Friday. We can see from the social media. They got angry on Friday because we had been gazetted. How does that affect you as an opposition member? Now they are saying we have been favored. That Museveni has favored us to give us have us registered. But you were registered and participated in elections. Were you favored?
PFF members wonder if they are all advancing the same opposition agenda, but also upheld by some opposition parties fielding candidates against hard-working opposition candidates.
If we all agree that we have one opponent whom we are fighting from the opposition, why do you stop shooting in front and shoot on the side, the colleague?
the opposition fighting one another. It makes no sense. Because when these people beat up the opposition, they don't ask you who you are. They simply know you are opposition. So we are in it together. We should remain together, work hard together.
People's Front for Freedom Party also says elections are just also another window to make their voices heard, though not enough.
So to be an MP gives you maybe a salary, but it gives you no protection. So we must fight for what is going to give us protection. These positions that we were given by our respective electoral areas are just a platform to participate in the bigger struggle.
Tomorrow, there is this bill that is coming. That is one of the struggles for, against freedom, depending on which side you are. And therefore, I want to request that all freedom lovers, let us widely communicate to our leaders, those in parliament and those outside parliament. Even when it is tomorrow, a few hours from now, we still have time to communicate.
The members voiced optimism about the prospects of People's Front for Freedom to advance freedom for all. Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
The NRM Parliamentary Caucus has resolved to support the UPDF Amendment Bill 2025 in fulfillment of the recent Supreme Court ruling. While addressing the media at Parliament, the Government Chief Whip Amson Oboa said that the Supreme Court indicated that civilians can be tried in military court under exceptional circumstances. The caucus has also resolved to support the Political Parties Amendment Bill that conditions political parties to join IPOD in order to access government funds. Oboa addressed the media after the Parliamentary Caucus meeting.
NRM Parliamentary Caucus meeting held at State House Entebbe. The NRM Parliamentary Caucus passed 2 resolutions. Resolution number 1, the caucus resolved to support the UPDF Amendment Bill as presented in Parliament by the Minister of Defense and Veterans Affairs in fulfillment of the Supreme Court ruling on the same and following our earlier resolution on the same. 2, the caucus also resolved to support the Private Members Bill aimed at amending the Political Parties and Organizations Act to set a condition precedent for all political parties to be members of IPOD as a condition precedent for accessing funding from government. Applying any civilian who voluntarily acquires a firearm, which is a preserve of the armed forces, illegally, without taking advantage of the window in the law for a civilian to acquire a private arm legally, and proceeds to commit an offense, that particular civilian will be culpable for trial under the prescribed exceptional circumstances in the UPDF Amendment Bill if passed into law.
And the FDC on that very matter has vowed to challenge the new proposed legislation intending to reinstate the court-martial. The FDC sitting in Najjanankumbi has highly evaluated the UPDF Amendment Bill, warning Parliament against passing it. On January 31st this year, the Supreme Court ruled that military courts lack jurisdiction to try civilians and ordered halting of all ongoing trials, and further ruled that all civilians tried in military courts be transferred to civil courts for trial.
This whole bill should be thrown out. This whole bill should be rejected in its totality.
The Forum for Democratic Change Party has protested against the amendment of the UPDF Act, which proposes to enlarge the scope of the military courts to try civilians. The FDC acting party president, Caps Fungaro, asserts that Parliament has limited consultations from the general public. He further emphasized that the bill does not affect individuals, but also prisoners currently sentenced.
The bill was introduced on the 13th of May, and it has not taken the minimum expected number of days, which would have given time for the public to participate. Now we are seeing it being rushed to the extent that we are seeing that tomorrow, which is the 20th, the bill is expected to come to the floor of Parliament and to be passed in less than 7 days just. The public has not participated. For example, where did you see members of the public in the forms of civil society organization participating in this? In the category of the academia participating in this. In the category of the ordinary citizens of Uganda in the constituencies. Even members of parliament have not had the time to go to the constituencies to present this issue to the people so that the people understand it.
The President's Central Region Council, Yusuf Nsibambi, noted that the bill is unconstitutional.
The decision of Lord Justice Owin Dolo, the Chief Justice, about transferring files which are in a military court to a civilian court and be handled there is what they call obiter. It is just a decision in passing. It is not the judicial finding. So Parliament cannot sit to make law out of a matter or a ruling or an observation in passing as if that is the basis for us to make law.
FDC party has urged its members in Parliament to oppose the bill. The Najanankumbi Best Party vows to head to court to challenge the outcomes if the bill is passed into law. If amended, the bill seeks to empower military courts to try civilians under certain circumstances. The bill also seeks to provide the restructuring and re-establishment of the court-martial in defense forces in accordance with Article 129(1)(d) of the Constitution and to prescribe their jurisdiction exceptional circumstances under which civilians may be subject to military law. However, the bill does not state all offenses in its introductory provisions. Reporting for ABC TV, Helen Barbara and Sana Annette.
From Najanankumbi, we'll take a short break. Thank you so much for watching.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Fun battery phone.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Kabode Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Kabode deal and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Kabode Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
Amazina ganje Ninyetekwa Seruhanga John Bosco ninduga mu district ya Rukungiri byo muhanguzi wa miliyoni 16 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangwire urwo mu kuzana star 278 ngafuna message erikweka mu muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo neri y'abafere sente ziriyo zone bakaziteka ngo nazihangwire.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Africa is rising. A continent rich in potential, powered by a new generation of visionaries. From cutting-edge technologies to transformative industries, Africa is shaping its own future. Bold, sustainable, and value-driven. Inspire Africa Group welcomes you to the first Africa Business Forum, which will be held at Africa Coffee Park under the theme Innovation, Industrialization and Value Addition on the 23rd of May 2025. The chief guest will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of Uganda, and His Excellency Dr. Samoei William Ruto, President of Kenya. Come, engage with the key policymakers, forge strategic partnerships, and unlock new markets. Join us as we reshape Africa's economic future. Uganda Development Forum, in partnership with Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, is organizing a 2-day Musevenomics Conference on the 29th and 30th of May 2025. The conference is dedicated to exploring Uganda's revolutionary economic model under the theme Sustaining Musevenomics, hence navigating Uganda's economic future in a disrupted world. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the chairman of Uganda Development Forum, General Salim Saleh, will lead a team of distinguished speakers in economics and development. The Musevenomics Conference 2025 is sponsored by Uganda Development Forum in partnership with Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Uganda Development Corporation, Parish Development Model, and Operation Wealth Creation.
UBC News Tonight. Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. Minister for Health Dr. Jane Ruth Aceng has advised women to undergo routine breast and cervical cancer screening and men to screen for prostate cancer. Aceng says that early detection of all types of critical problems for improved health outcomes are essential for good health.
Hundreds in Busia district have gone for a 3-day medical camp by the Indian Women Association and Gampwed, the older age charity organization. The health camp at Madivira Primary School screened for breast cancer, cervical cancer, prostate cancer, eyes and non-communicable diseases.
All our breasts, they have roots, but the roots are always in the armpits. So you'll use your hands. The right one will examine the left breast. The left one will examine the right breast. So you start with the armpits. So you start with the armpits as you are pressing. You come pressing, pressing, pressing to feel if there is any swelling. You keep on pressing as I'm doing. Don't press like doing like this, removing. When you are starting, you start from the armpits, but you don't remove. You come in the circular motion, you don't remove your fingers, and you press, not just matter of touching, but you over press to feel if there is anything.
According to the Indian Women Association, many people, especially at the grassroots level, need to be reached with screening services.
So we have selected this camp in our journey first time because people need the facility. They can't go to hospital in Kampala. So we came here with the medicines, with the doctors, and with entire team of IVA. That's why we came here to give Ugandan back.
I want to encourage the population of Uganda. Early screening and detection is part of what we as Ministry of Health preach to you. Because 75% of our disease burden is preventable. The other 25%, which we should be treating, is extremely expensive. Both non-communicable and communicable diseases can be prevented if we screen routinely, screen early, and it is detected early, and you are helped accordingly. I want to appreciate them for gathering men together to screen for cancer of the prostate, and also women together to screen for cancer of the cervix. These two are the commonest causes of mortality in patients who have cancer in our society.
The Indian Women Association commended government for the prevailing peace and security that has fostered social cohesion.
By keeping the peace and prosperity over the few decades and making Uganda one of the best society economic with growth and providing conducive environment and better opportunity for all the races.
Minister for Health Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng said the Ministry of Health is training village health teams to screen cancer in communities and refer patients to minimize late presentation of cases.
However, government is striving hard to see to it that we have these services at the grassroots. So we are training community health workers who are part of you. We pick them from among you and from the VHTs. And we train them to
Such community health screenings are crucial for the early detection of diseases which can lead to more effective treatment and potentially save lives. Adia Nakute, UBC.
Farida Nambi Chigongo of the NRM has informed court that since the Electoral Commission agreed with her that all the results from the 14 polling stations were not tallied, the Commission would have conducted a fresh election as stipulated under the Electoral Commission Act. Nambi submitted to court in her election petition filed in the High Court Civil Division, challenging the victory of NOP MP Erias Luyimbazi Nalukora.
National Resistance Movement's Farida Nambi Chigonga has submitted her final pre-election petition filed against NUP's Elias Luyimbazi Nalukora, challenging his victory as the elected member of Parliament for Kawempe North constituency. In her final submissions on the preliminary point of law, Nambi asked court to strike out all the 5 affidavits sworn by Nalukora's witnesses. Another patent issue was on Annexure A and 3, with the first respondent Luyimbazi Nalukora presented to court without a seal from the Commission of Oath. On the merits of the petition, they highlighted non-compliance with the electoral laws, making the whole process illegal.
It is only one conclusion that can be reached in this matter: the annulment of the election of Nalukora as a Member of Parliament for Kawempe Division North constituency. We have told the judge, which was a key thing of our petition, that the voters whose electoral choice was not known, numbering 16,640, affected the result of the election in a substantial manner. We have told the judge that that number is greater than the margin between Nalukora and Farida, as to put the result of the election in Kawempe North in doubt.
Basing on the laws governing Electoral Commission, Section 12(1), Section 64(1), and 76, Nambi told court that the Commission would have nullified the elections and carry out a fresh one.
The declaration of a final winner in parliamentary elections happens 48 hours after the voting has commenced. Nalukora was announced winner on the day of the election in the deep dead of the night. We have told the judge that if the Electoral Commission had seen, if they had realized that 14 polling stations had not returned results, they had the freedom, the power, and the right to extend voting to the next day, in which case would have had a full return of 197 polling stations.
Nambi's legal team has also highlighted to court the bribery and disruption of election officers on the voting date, which actions were done by Nalukora's polling agents, and some figures from National Unity Platform.
Ewan Julius Mutebi Matthias Walukaga and Honorable Chiaga Hilary, aka Dr. Hildeman, obstructed election officials, also attempted to forcefully enter that polling station.
We have convinced the judge, we believe, that if Nalukora was sponsored by the NUP, then having accepted the officials and leaders of the NUP to participate in his campaign and election, he cannot run away from the illegal practices that they committed on his behalf.
Nambi finally asked court to nullify the outcome of Kawempe North constituency by-elections and order fresh by-election.
For the law that we have cited to him, for the numerous authorities of the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court that we have given him, we have asked him, we have prayed to him that he should annul the election of Nalukora as a Member of Parliament for Kawempe Division North and allow everybody to go back to the election, have all the 197 polling stations return results.
Judge Bernard Namanya adjourned the case to 20th May when Nalukora and the Electoral Commission legal team will make their final submissions. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nansuga, UBC News.
A UPDF deserter, Chiseka Daniel, has been sentenced to 35 years imprisonment for murdering Assistant DPP Joan Kagezi. Chiseka Daniel pleaded guilty to the offense of murdering Joan Kagezi. Other 7 suspects are still undergoing a trial of the offenses of murdering Kagezi and terrorism.
The accused in the murder case of Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions Joan Kagezi include Daniel Chiseka, John Masereje, and Nasul Abdara. The case before the International War Crimes Division Court in Kampala. When the court resumed for pre-trial hearing, prosecution first amended the charge sheet, withdrawing the offense of terrorism against Chiseka Daniel, remaining with the offense of murder. Immediately after reading the charges to him, Chiseka Daniel, a UPDF deserter, pleaded guilty to the alleged offenses. Prosecution led by Jatiko Thomas tendered an amended charge sheet and informed court that Chiseka Daniel, together with his lawyers, led by Henry Kunya, entered a plea bargain. Following the accused's plea of guilty, prosecution presented to court facts indicating that Chiseka Daniel, who deserted from the forces, stole an AK-47. Thereafter, with the help of the accused persons, Abdul Nasir Mugonole, John Chibuuka, and Johnny Masereje, they murdered Joan Kagezi in Chiwatule, Kampala district. The facts also pointed out that Chiseka and the other accused persons were paid $2 million out of $200,000 that were promised to murder Joan Kagezi. Although the details of the sponsors of the murder were not disclosed to court,
informed investigators that it is Chibuuka John who shot and killed Joan Kagezi in his presence, while Masajage John was the motorcycle rider. The accused further revealed to investigators that following the murder of Joan Kagezi, 3 of them went to a witch doctor in Kayunga to perform some rituals on them.
Court has also had that the reason for murdering Joan Kagezi was her interference in Muslim cases.
The accused secured the witch doctor, who was personally known to him, and led the other 2 there. Although Joseph confirmed to investigators that indeed he performed rituals on the accused, Chibuuka John and Nasur Abdallah Mugonole, after the murder of Joan Kagezi.
Chiseka, who did not dispute the facts before court, prosecution asked court to give him a deterrent sentence. On his plea of guilty, court sentenced Chiseka Daniel to 35 years imprisonment for murdering Joan Kagezi.
We considered both the aggravating factors and mitigating factors of the case. Issues such as the brutal manner in which she was killed, the use of a deadly weapon, which was a gun, a rifle.
Jacqueline Oko, the spokesperson of the Director of Public Prosecution's office, says the DPP's office is pleased with the sentence to the accused.
Justice for her children and family at large, as well as the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, especially considering the fact that it's been over 8 years.
The remaining accused persons who are facing charges of terrorism and murder were further remanded to Luzira Government Prison.
The case will be proceeding tomorrow with the hearing in respect of the other 3 accused persons. So they will be prosecuted in the International Crimes Division of the High Court starting tomorrow.
Joan Kagezi was murdered in cold blood on 30th March 2025 in Chiwatule, Kampala district. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nansuga, UBC News.
The RDC Mitoma Chibuuka Francis has applauded General Muhoozi Kainerugaba for establishing the Patriotic League of Uganda.
The National Resistance Movement and PLOU supporters from Greater Bushenyi have endorsed President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, NRM sole candidate, as Uganda heads to the general elections.
You are seeing them looking, smiling, laughing, talking, NRM and General Museveni plus his son, General Kainerugaba Muhoozi. So I highly doubt whether we have people who will be anti-NRM.
And we are ready to support him in all corners, from district level to village level, to look for his votes. We are sure, Greater Bushenyi, we are going to score 100%. And as a cooperative team, we want to work together so that we can develop ourselves.
The PLOU offices were launched by Ankole Sub-Region PLOU spokesperson Paul Katwire, who represented head of mobilization Michael Mawanda.
They promised us to do what we call massive mobilization for the NRM and the president. And they have assured us that His Excellency the President is going to get more than 99% in this region in Greater Bushenyi.
Katwire encouraged border cyclists and NRM supporters to use their cooperative efforts to eradicate poverty.
Because when you want the cooperative to grow, you must encourage other members to save. So I encourage them to come and join other colleagues here so that we make a strong team in Greater Bushenyi.
The RDC Mitoma district, Bazigatirawa Chibuka Francis Amoti, appreciated General Muhoozi for establishing PLOU.
This PLOU is seen as champion of development, fighting against corruption, fighting against underdevelopment, fighting against all sorts of bad service delivery. So we are very grateful. I'm seeing an army that will support our initiative as government to make sure that the services we deliver to the people is for real.
He has, however, called upon them to be transparent and patriotic and also mobilize for NRM in the forthcoming elections.
To be transparent, to be accountable, to be visible. They have to be seen that they are around. We don't want them to disappear after getting some money, because there is money coming to support their office, to support their operations. So we encourage the spirit of transparency, accountability, and make sure that they are clear.
Kawanguzi Paul, Nelson Akatuhurira, UBC.
Tecno and MTN. Together, our flash snap is unstoppable. Grab the Tecno Camon 40 series and get free 9 GB of MTN data valid for 3 months. Don't wait. Get your Tecno Camon 40 today at Tecno stores and MTN outlets. MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Are you a woman with a small-scale business with a dream of growing it to another level? The GROW Project is here to support you in realizing your dream.
The GROW Project is a government initiative implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and Private Sector Foundation Uganda with support from the World Bank.
We support women-owned businesses across the country to gain hands-on and business management skills through training within your location, business financing through grants and affordable loans, and infrastructure in your areas of operation to enable you to increase your productivity.
If you have a business that makes sales of up to 800,000 Uganda shillings per month, the GROW Project has the tools and resources to help you succeed. For more information, contact your district or city GROW focal person or call our toll-free line on 0800 307 777 to learn more about how you can benefit from the GROW Project's services.
The GROW Project, empowering women economically, transforming communities.
According to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics Census report of 2016, in Uganda, 12.4% of the population, about 4.5 million, live with a disability. Limited access to ICT and assistive technologies increases digital disparities, prompting UKUSAF's aim to promote digital inclusiveness for persons with disabilities. The ICT for People with Disability program aims to improve the accessibility of education and technology for persons with disabilities and promote their full and effective participation in society. UKUSAF is implementing this program through the creation and maintenance of an online observatory for persons with disabilities intended to link persons with disabilities with service providers and different programs that empower them, and provision of adaptive tools that enhance their quality of life through ICTs and digital skilling.
We used to run, but most of the time we were running away from something. But nowadays, everything seems different. People still run, but they are running towards something. They run to test their limits, to break new records. And when we do it right, we inspire others.
The inaugural Coffee Marathon, uplifting rural coffee women, 24th May at Africa Coffee Park, Ntungamo.
Come, let us run.
To register, dial *217 *413 #. Choose option 4. Or scan the event QR code or visit the website to choose the race options. Brought to you by Inspire Africa Group.
Uganda Development Forum, in partnership with Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, is organizing a 2-day Musevenomics Conference on the 29th and 30th of May 2025. The conference is dedicated to exploring Uganda's revolutionary economic model under the theme, Sustaining Musevenomics, hence navigating Uganda's economic future in a disrupted world. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the chairman of Uganda Development Forum, General Salim Saleh, will lead a team of distinguished speakers in economics and development. The Musevenomics Conference 2025 is sponsored by Uganda Development Forum in partnership with Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Uganda Development Corporation, Parish Development Model, and Operation Wealth Creation.
Business news tonight. Soroti Fruit Processing Factory has started purchasing and processing local mangoes from farmers in the Teso sub-region and beyond. The Chief Executive, Julius Martin Ekomo, said that mango growers have started supplying the raw material.
Since its inauguration by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on April 13, 2019, the factory in Soroti City East has focused on processing various orange varieties, including Hamlin, Valencia, and Washington Novel.
And actually, this is the fulfillment of the pledge that we made last year, actioning the buying of local mangoes. So far, we've bought about 50 tons out of the 150 tons that we expect to begin initially buying of the local mangoes. We are buying these mangoes at 300 shillings per kilo. That goes directly to the farmers that supply this to the groups. Because when you buy the juice from us, we're able to bring that money back to the community through the purchase of mangoes. Whoever has tasted money from local mangoes is promising to preserve the local mango tree that is now existing.
Lawrence Emoit reported that last week they supplied 10 tons of local mangoes.
Mangoes are available, only that, the local mangoes start maturing in April. That is the period. Now, we are already in May. Most of the mangoes have matured. We are only left with a few. But mangoes, local mangoes, in every homestead in Teso. Every homestead. And it is easy to get. And, people have been eating free. Now that the factory has started buying local mangoes, I'm telling you, people are excited because they have not been able to sell my local mangoes. They have just been eating. and I think people are going to preserve local mango.
A farmer, Simon Ogolo, shared that he sold 1,425 kilograms of mangoes harvested from just 3 trees, earning over shillings 213,700.
I've never since, so I'm very pleased now for this company. I don't know the name of the company, but I'm very pleased that they have accepted to come right now up to the ground roots here. Here I've got kilos 1,425 kilograms. At 150, it is now 213,700. I've never tasted such a amount. I will never allow anybody to play with it.
Aswam yalama kwanenge factor agara aswam emiebelem remiebelolo mame egbelana elosido emiebeta bosine kwapu konye kwane kaja honore factory ingaraki soda berelo kwap be miebe kopani mam yipera abune raidenge kamiebe emiebe ejai panar emedown toma.
Kawanguzi Paul, Alomu Emi, UBC.
108.
World of sport, KCCA eliminated Kataka FC to confirm finals with Vipers in 51st Uganda Cup. KCCA in the 51st Uganda Cup. KCCA will play rivals Vipers in the 51st edition of the Stanbic Uganda Cup come 31st May 2025 at Kadiba Stadium in Lubaga. The fixture was confirmed on Sunday after the completion of the second semi-final between FOFA Big League side Kataka and KCCA at the Mbale City Stadium. The return leg between the two sides ended 1 goal apiece, with KCCA advancing to the final 4-1 on aggregate. KCCA will now square off against Vipers in the finals at Kadiba Stadium. KCCA seek for the 11th time, having previously won 10 titles. Vipers has won the Stanbic Uganda Cup trophy 3 times. Cavendish University has hosted the first inter-country football competition, a tournament dedicated to fostering peace and unity among African nations. The week-long event brought together teams from different countries, creating a vibrant mix of culture, talent, and sportsmanship. In the finals, the Democratic Republic of Congo faced off against South Sudan in an intense match. After a 0-0 draw in a regular time, the championship was decided through penalties, with DRC emerging victorious.
And this competition brings students together from different countries. As I said, over 40 countries that we have in Cavendish University. They learn respect, they learn discipline, but they learn the fact that we're all one at the end of the day. And we all run and aim for glory, achievement, and success. So by nurturing these soft skills and also the talent of being footballers, you never know. Some of these players that we've seen today might actually be names that we'll hear upon the continent of Africa and maybe globally.
The fact that students are able to come together despite their different areas they come from. We have known that so many of these countries are coming from areas that have been destabilized by so many wars, but by the mere fact that this concerns their country, they come together despite of their tribes, and they fight for this. You see the spirit from the start up to the end, from the group stages until they reach the finals. And we use these games to spot out key talents that we can be able to push ahead for any other further game that may follow after that. So I've seen the students working together, fighting hard, and the oneness that they have.
By the grace of God, we have come to the end of the 2025 Inter-Countries Football Tournament. This is a tournament that brings about unity and peace, where we have students from different nationalities that come together, and that promotes a lot of unity amongst us students. It also showcases talents of football from various students of different countries.
That is all we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. With the whole team here, we wish you the best of the night. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
This May 24th is the grand finale of the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo 2025. Festival Day at Speak Resort Munyonyo. Experience a vibrant mix of music, dance, fashion, art, a fun-filled kids section, and an epic boat regatta on Lake Victoria. Live on stage, Luthri, Winnie Nwaji, Abeka Band, Otim Alpha, Suna Ben, Sheila Gashumba, Salvador, Alideki Brian, Crane Performers, and more. General tickets go for 20k and VIP for 50k. Get yours now at tagticketing.com. For what a festival day. Celebrate culture, celebrate Uganda. Don't miss it.
Oyo ye Diplock Segawaga chaguze myaka namwe 3 May ku National Theatre. A lifetime of melody concert. 43 years of Diplock Segawa performing in Kampala.